Alright, let's dive into this because it's a topic that's been buzzing in the football world, and personally, I think it's way more complex than most people realize. We're talking about Rafael Leao, AC Milan's winger, and the recent commentary from Chaka Traore about his management and future. What makes this really interesting is how it's not just about Leao's talent, which is undeniable, but about the bigger picture of player management, motivation, and potential. First off, let's address the elephant in the room, Leao's inconsistency. From my perspective, this is where the conversation gets messy. Everyone agrees he's one of the best wingers in Europe when he's on form, but that's the issue, it's not consistent. And here's where I think people miss the mark. It's easy to blame the player, but what many don't realize is how much the club's management plays into this. Traore himself called it awful, and I have to agree. If you take a step back and think about it, 3 different coaches have struggled to get the best out of him. That's not just on Leao, it's a systemic issue. What this really suggests is that there's a disconnect between Leao's potential and how he's being utilized. Personally, I think this raises a deeper question: how much responsibility lies with the club versus the player? Traore's insight is fascinating here. He mentions that Leao is a professional, that he gives it his all in training, but there's something missing. And that's the part that's hard to quantify: motivation, hunger, whatever you want to call it. It's intangible, but it's crucial. One thing that immediately stands out is Traore's comparison of Leao to players like Yamal, Robben, and Ribery. He says Leao has nothing to envy from them, and I agree. Physically, technically, he's got it all. But here's the kicker: talent alone isn't enough. What separates the good from the great is that mental edge, that drive to be consistent, to dominate every game. And that's where Leao falls short, or at least, that's the narrative. But is it fair? I'm not so sure. What many people don't realize is that we only see a fraction of a player's life. We judge Leao based on 90 minutes on the pitch, but what's going on behind the scenes? Traore touches on this, saying we can't judge someone based on what we don't see. Maybe there are personal issues, maybe there's frustration with the club's direction, we don't know. And that's the point. It's easy to criticize, but it's harder to understand. Now, let's talk about Leao's future. Traore hints that if Leao wants a change of scenery, he should go for it. And honestly, I think that's solid advice. Sometimes a fresh start is exactly what a player needs. But here's where it gets tricky: where would he go? Traore mentions the Turkish league, and while those are great clubs, it would feel like a step down for a player of his caliber. In my opinion, Leao belongs in one of the top 5 leagues. The Premier League? Absolutely. But will he make that leap? That's entirely up to him. What makes this situation even more intriguing is how it reflects broader trends in football. Players like Leao are often caught in this limbo. They're too good for their current situation but not quite consistent enough for the elite level. It's a frustrating place to be, both for the player and the fans. And it's not just about Leao, it's about how clubs manage talent, how they motivate players, and how they handle inconsistency. To wrap this up, I think Leao's story is a cautionary tale but also a reminder of how much potential can go untapped. From my perspective, the ball is in his court. He's got the talent, he's got the tools, now it's about what he wants to do with them. And honestly, I'm curious to see where this goes. Will he stay at Milan and find his rhythm? Will he move to a bigger league and prove everyone wrong? Or will he become another what-if story? Only time will tell. But here's my final thought: football is as much about the mental game as it is about the physical. Leao's situation is a perfect example of that. Talent will only take you so far. It's the drive, the consistency, and the mindset that separate the legends from the rest. And that's something I think we all need to remember, whether we're players, fans, or just observers of the beautiful game.